Good morning, children. Welcome to sociology class. Our today's topic is status and role. These two terms, status and role, are twin concepts. They go side by side. Each status has a corresponding role. Our status is basically a position that a person holds in the society or within his various groups of which he is a member. And some role is associated with this status, or we can say that he performs his role accordingly. So both the concepts go side by side. What is status? Status refers to the social position of the individual. Each such position carries certain rights and duties. For instance, as a member of the students group, you may occupy the status of a junior or a senior student. A senior student will have more rights and duties as compared to a junior student. Just as within the family, parents occupy higher status and have more rights and duties as compared to the children. Role. Role is the dynamic aspect of status. One occupies a status, but one plays the roles. It is not enough to occupy a status in the society or the group. The realization of that status will happen only when we play the role according to our status. A doctor, this has to play the role of treating his patients, and if he does not do so, he will lose his status of being a doctor, as the patients will stop coming to him for treatment. Then we see that the roles and status may change from time to time. A lady may be performing the role of a daughter, a mother, a sister, a friend, a teacher, a social activist, etc. in different situations. So one person can have many statuses and accordingly can have many roles. As I have given you this example that the lady is single, but sometimes she is a daughter, so she performs the role of a daughter. Somewhere she is a mother, she performs her role accordingly. Somewhere she is a sister or a friend or a teacher or a social activity. So everywhere she is performing different roles according to her status. Let us discuss some of the definitions of status. According to McIver, status is the social position that determines for his possessor, apart from his personal attribute or social services, a degree of respect, prestige and influence. Then, according to H.T. Mazumdar, status means the location of the individual within the group, his place in the social network of reciprocal obligations and privileges, means rights and duties. According to Davis, status is a position in the general institutional system recognized and supported by the entire society spontaneously, evolved rather than deliberately created, rooted in the folkways and mores. So these are some of the definitions for the status. Status is mainly of two kinds. The first kind of status is called ascribed status and second is called achieved status. Now let us see what is ascribed status and what is achieved. First, ascribed status. There are some statuses in life which an individual gets by birth. He has done nothing to acquire them. They have been granted to him by the social system and traditions. They have nothing to do with his skill and ability. In other words, ascribed statuses are already there in society, which are given to newborn babies. Ascribed statuses exist in all the societies. For example, a child born in a royal family is by birth has a higher status in society. A child born in a wealthy family is better off than the one who is born in a poor family. So there are various factors which establish ascribed status. Some bases of these ascribed statuses are sex, age, kinship, birth, caste, race, adoption and the class, etc. So I hope you have understood what is the meaning of ascribed status, which a person gets automatically and he does nothing to achieve it. That is called ascribed status. For example, if we take birth in a Muslim family, automatically we become Muslim. If we take birth in a poor family, our status is low because we have less amount of money. Then second kind of status is achieved status. As the name indicates, it is achieved by someone and the achievement needs some efforts. So what is achieved status? The place, position and status that an individual acquires because of his personal ability, skill, talents, intelligence, etc. is called achieved status. The brave, skillful, intelligent, capable and patient people achieve a high status in society. Those who are very brave, those who are very skillful, those who are intelligent, so they get a high status because of these. Like the famous leaders, social reformers, writers, thinkers in Indian history achieved high status in society because of their own efforts. We can get an example. The life of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is the latest example, and another example is of our Prime Minister. Achieved status changes the entire life of the individual. It can change or it can take an individual from rags to riches through the efforts. If you watch the program Indian Idol on the television, it is there for us to see how through one's own efforts and hidden talents one gets recognition and one can climb the ladder of success. So there are many such examples of achieved status where the men were poor, where the men were having low status in the society, but after their great efforts they achieved the high status in the society. So ascribed status, which we get by birth, by family or through our sex, etc. But achieved status is always received through the effort. So these are the two kinds of statuses. Now let us see some of the features of ascribed status and the achieved status. First of all, we shall discuss the features of ascribed status, which we are getting naturally by birth. First feature is ascribed status is given by society. Next, the sources of ascribed statuses are the customs, traditions, norms and values of society. Ascribed status reflect the general states of society like parents, brothers, sisters, etc. For ascribed status, the individual has to make no effort. Next, the basis of ascribed status are usually fixed. There is a very little change in them. For example, the caste status, it remains the same lifelong. Next, the basis of ascribed statuses are sex, man or woman. Then age, there are 4 different ages. Then birth, where we are taking birth. Then the caste and race. So all these are the basis of ascribed status. Next, ascribed statuses are not indefined. For example, the area of mother's rights is not defined. Next feature is ascribed statuses provide a kind of social and psychological security to the individual. And last point is this: ascribed statuses are found in mostly primitive society, or the people are known by their ascribed statuses. Now let us discuss the features of achieved status also. First is, achieved status is achieved through one's own ability or efforts or the skills. Second feature, the source of achieved status is not the traditions, but it is the individual's own ability and skill. Next, achieved status reflects special status, like the status as a doctor, engineer, etc. Next, achieved status is the result of his own efforts. Next, the basis of achieved status is such as wealth, education, political power, intelligence, etc. And it keeps on changing. Then the basis of achieved status are also education, training, occupation, etc. Then we can say that in case of achieved status, the jurisdiction of a judge or a clerk is well defined. Means we have a certain area of our duties. Next, achieved status remains insecure because of competition and conflict. If you win the competition and also the conflict, your position is secured. Otherwise, you will lose your status or the social position. Then next is achieved statuses are mostly found and recognized in modern industrial urban societies, or we can say it is recognized in the progressive societies. So all these are the features or characteristics of the achieved status. Now at the end of this part, we shall discuss the distinction between ascribed and the achieved statuses. The first is, as we have already seen, we have discussed the characteristics. So the first is, ascribed status is given by the society. We do nothing, we get it naturally. But the achieved status is achieved through one's ability, skill or the effort. Then if we see the sources of ascribed statuses are mostly the customs, traditions, conventions, norms and values of the society. But the source of achieved status is mainly a person's own ability and the skill. Then the third difference is, in ascribed status, the general states of society are discussed, like the parents, brothers, sisters. But this achieved status reflects some special kind of status, like being a doctor or engineer or a teacher or many others. Then the main thing is, for ascribed status, a man does nothing, means does no effort, because he gets the status from the family. But on the contrary, achieved status is the result of his own efforts. If efforts are more, status is high. Then they differ because of their basis also. The basis of ascribed statuses are sex, age, birth, caste, but the basis of achieved status are skills, education, training, occupation, intelligence, etc. Next, ascribed statuses are not defined. For example, we have already discussed that if we take the example of mother's rights are not defined. But here we see that in achieved statuses, the area of duty is well defined. Like the clerk has his own duties, the judge has his own duties, and the doctor has his own duties. Next, in ascribed statuses, a man gets psychological security. But in achieved status, a man remains insecure, because any time the social position or the social status of that person can come down if he is not perfect in the competitions and the conflicts. And the next and last difference is, generally we see that the ascribed statuses are recognized in primitive, simple societies, but the achieved statuses are recognized in modern, industrial and the progressive societies. So all these are the differences between the ascribed and the achieved statuses.